Welcome to Moms of the Lou podcast, hosted by and recorded for St. Louis moms. Grab your laundry basket, kick your feet up for nap time, or head out the door for pickup and spend a little time catching up with your favorite St. Louis moms. Hosted by a fellow St. Louis mom, Rebecca Coast, let's dive into our discussion today. Well, hello, St. Louis moms, and welcome back to another episode of our Moms of the Lou podcast. It is the first day of spring, and we're so excited for a new season and time outside and flowers and warmth. So we thought today would be a great day to talk about all things fitness with Natalie Kalmar of Fitness Foodie STL on Instagram. Welcome, Natalie.
Hi, Rebecca. I'm so happy and excited to be here.
Wonderful. So you are, well, tell us a little bit about your story. Are you a St. Louis native, St. Louis transplant?
Yes, I am a St. Louis native, born and raised in St. Louis. I went to Parkway Central High School.
Okay, you knew I was going to ask.
Yep. Go Colts.
Go Colts.
Yep. And, but I did take a long leave from St. Louis. So I went away, I went to New Orleans for college, and then I lived in New York for 13 years.
Yeah.
So we've been back to St. Louis. It's been about 6 years. So it's really fun to come back. It's like my life has really come kind of full circle in so many ways.
What were you doing in New York? What took you to New York?
So I moved to New York right out of college for an internship. It was like my dream job with the Estee Lauder companies.
Wow.
And yeah, I worked for them. I worked for the Clinique brand, which is one of the brands within the Estee Lauder companies. I worked for them for 13 years.
Love Clinique.
Yeah, it's a great company. It's a great brand. And it was really quite a journey. And it was about 2.5 years ago that I made the decision to kind of stay home and shift my focus. And so, yeah, it's been an interesting couple of years.
So you became a mom in New York.
Yes, I had my first son. My oldest is Benji. He's now, he's almost 9.
Yeah.
Yep. So we had him in New York. We were living just in a tiny little apartment.
Wow.
And then, yeah, when we got pregnant with the twins, we were like, wow, we really need to figure this out. And we easily could have stayed in New York and maybe moved to the suburbs, but we thought we might want to be closer to home, have help, with family and friends. So we moved home. And right after we moved home, I had the twins. So they're now 6. Wow. I have twins, boy-girl twins that are 6.
Wow. What was it like momming in New York with your first? What was that like, city life?
It's actually so different than momming here.
Yeah.
There's a big nanny culture there. So we had a nanny. I was still working for the Estee Lauder companies and going into the office. So I had a nanny who helped me. And it was fun, though. I mean, the stroller on the street, the stroller is so critical in New York. I mean, it is like your car. You got to have a good souped up stroller and, hit the streets and all the bells and whistles hanging from your stroller.
Love it.
But there's so much to do there. But, now with multiple children, I cannot imagine what our lives would be like at that stage. I feel like we are definitely meant to be here at this stage.
Yes.
So.
I've talked to so many moms who have had a similar experience. They went away, and then once they started to build their family, they decided they wanted to come back and do it here in St. Louis.
There's no place like home. There really isn't.
Yes. So where are you living now?
I'm in Chesterfield.
Chesterfield. Yes. Okay.
Quite a big change from Manhattan, especially for my husband, who's, a New Yorker, born and raised.
Yep.
So,
different culture.
Been a transition for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, where do you like to go in Chesterfield with your kids?
Oh my gosh, there's so many great places. We're lucky about that. I mean, you've got a bazillion places in the valley. I mean, they love Slick City. They love Go Play.
Yep.
We love the Brunswick that's in Chesterfield. There's just so many great options and lots of also like family friendly places to eat.
Yes.
Which is really nice too.
Yeah. Where are some of your favorite, and it doesn't have to just be in Chesterfield either. Where are your favorite family friendly eats?
Oh, There's a lot of them that we like. One of our favorites that is family friendly, but also upscale enough that you could have like a nice outing or celebrate like Mother's Day or Father's Day is Napoli Brothers Pizza and Pasta. We love that place. That is one of our go-tos.
Oh, wow.
And it's really close to us.
Is that newer? Or
yes.
It is? Okay.
It's in the hub, the district area.
Yes.
Out kind of by the Top Golf. And they opened, I want to say they opened maybe last June or July,
Oh,
something
wow.
like
Okay.
that.
So within the year.
Within the year.
Within the year.
Yeah.
Okay.
We love that place. We just recently discovered this place in St. Charles called Tubby's.
Oh.
That is a bowling alley that has this amazing restaurant inside where you can get charbroiled steaks and like mac and cheese and stuff for adults and for kids. That is like a new spot that we are going to be frequenting quite a bit.
Who would have thought?
I mean,
steak in a bowling alley.
Yes,
Tubby's.
that's what I'm saying.
I love it. Where in St. Charles?
Very close to Lindenberg, not far from Main Street.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, very cool. St. Charles is where it's happening.
There's so
that.
much going on out there for sure.
I love that. Okay, so you're back in St. Louis.
Yes.
You became a mom in New York, worked, full time. And so what was your plan? When you came back to St. Louis, you had the twins.
Yeah.
I know what were you thinking in terms of work at that point?
So at that point I was part-time. So I was working about 30 hours a week, 25, 30 hours a week. And I was remote at that point. So I was working out of my basement and not shortly, I guess the twins were about a year old and then COVID hit.
Yeah.
And, that was a real troubling time for everybody in many ways.
Yep.
But it just felt like I never left my house. Like I was just chained to my basement where I have my office, you know. But in some ways, I think work saved me during that time period because it gave me some connection outside of my family, even though it was on Zoom. So I continued to work remotely out of my basement for several years. And it was when kind of COVID people were kind of getting out of their house again and people were starting to live again that I was like, you know what? I got to get out of this basement. Like I had realized at that point that not only had the job changed because it's a corporation and there was a number of, restructures and job responsibility changes that had happened over the years. So the job had changed significantly, but really more importantly, I had changed.
Yeah.
I mean, I went from living in New York to living in St. Louis. I had, now 3 kids. And I lost my dad. Like there was just a lot of change that had happened.
Yeah.
And I needed to take some time to refocus, make sure that the kids' needs were being met because I kind of felt like it was just really difficult to do everything.
Yeah. That's a lot of change happening at once. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you decided to pull back from your job.
I did.
And then you birthed this passion project, and I want to know how you got to that.
I did.
To that point.
Okay, so after I left my job and I, was able to have a little bit of breathing room. The kids were in preschool part-time at that point. And so I found myself really craving just getting back into exercise because of COVID and all of that. I had, dropped my gym membership and I also had injured my foot and was unable to kind of work out in the same way. So I was really craving getting back into exercise, but I didn't want to just go back into the same thing that I had been doing before. I really wanted to get back out into St. Louis, leave my basement, find some new fun ways to get fitness in.
Yeah.
And so I started kind of just hopping around and trying out all of these different gyms. And what I realized is there is such a vibrant fitness scene in St. Louis. And I was having so much fun kind of exploring it. And so, the passion project, the blog, Fitness Foodie STL, was kind of birthed out of just a desire to, 1, get back into group fitness in particular, because I missed it so much. And 2, kind of break up the monotony of motherhood because, motherhood is wonderful in all of its ways, but in some ways there is a lot of repetitive, monotonous things that you do. And so kind of checking out new fitness classes became this spontaneous, fun activity that I could do after I dropped them off at preschool and I had just this me time. And it also grounded me back in the St. Louis community in a way that I needed because I was away from St. Louis for so long and I felt like it was helping me explore new places, new parts of St. Louis, and just meet like-minded people, build a community of people who are into the same things that I am.
I love that. I love that so much. And okay, but I have to ask you the foodie portion of it, because my favorite part of your Instagram is you will all of a sudden drop a video that's like you just like going to town on some dumplings or like a gooey butter cake roundup, and which is not typical for a fitness account, right?
True.
So how did you come up with the idea to wed the two, fitness and enjoying food?
Yes. Okay. So that is very, very true. And I will say that when I decided I wanted to start writing down all these great fitness places that I was experiencing, I was having a little bit of, imposter syndrome, because I'm not like this super fit, like healthy, crunchy person. Like, I love to eat.
Yeah.
I want to enjoy going out to dinner, and I like dessert, and I like these things. And so my desire to work out really never had anything to do with losing weight or being a certain size.
Yeah.
It really had to do, honestly, with sanity.
Yeah.
Just trying to like clear my head and feel good, release some endorphins. That for me is the reason I work out, the primary reason. All of those other things are just bonus if they happen, right? And if they don't, I'm not going to beat myself up over it.
Right.
So for me, food has always been a very important part of my life. And so it felt natural for me to infuse it into the blog and really just be my authentic self.
Well, and I think what I love about it is that it's not like, okay, hey, I'm posting this great pizza place, so we're going to talk about fitness so that you can now go justify eating the pizza. Like, that's not the mentality at all. The mentality is we're enjoying being physically active, but we're also enjoying these fun places around,
It's about having joy in your life. It's about finding balance that works for you.
Yes.
It's not about beating yourself up. It's just about having fun with fitness and dining with delight.
Absolutely. Because I feel like we all want that, right? We all want to be able to dine with delight, enjoy that, but also enjoy physical wellness too, right?
Yes.
So, yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. So you started your Instagram account, and you also have a blog. So what can we find on the blog?
Yeah, so the website is really a series of different articles about various group fitness places. You can find fitness reviews, you can find restaurant reviews, you can find articles about kind of wellness and balance. And one of the newest and probably most popular features of my blog is the fitness events listing.
Okay.
So I'm a big believer in variety and spicing things up. And so fitness events are just this amazing way that you can get variety in your fitness routine while still like maintaining whatever normal gym membership that you have. They're low commitment. You can either buy a ticket. Many of these events are free, so you can just drop in. They also allow you to meet up with friends and do something healthy. So you want to grab brunch with a friend on Sunday, like hit a yoga class beforehand, and then you can hit your brunch afterwards. And it just creates this fun kind of reason to meet up that makes you feel good, and just another excuse again to get out of the house and meet up with friends.
Moms, let's talk about something that doesn't get enough attention: your pelvic health. Whether you're pregnant, postpartum, or years beyond having kids, bladder leaks, pelvic pain, and core weakness are common, but they're not normal, and you don't have to just live with them. That's where Legacy Physical Therapy comes in. At Legacy Physical Therapy, their expert pelvic health specialists help women just like you regain strength, confidence, and control without relying on medications or surgery. With 2 convenient locations in Valley Park and St. Peters, we make it easy to get the care you deserve. Not sure if pelvic physical therapy is right for you? Call 636-225-3649 for a free pelvic health discovery session and speak with a pelvic floor expert today, because moms deserve to feel strong, healthy, and pain-free at every stage of life. Visit LegacyTherapySTL.com to learn more.
I love that. And you are so good about that. I love when you post about, you're so good about that, about bringing friends along or meeting them for a class. So what are some events that you like, that you feel like are good if like a mom wants to grab her friend and
Oh my
go
gosh.
take a class? What do you like?
There are so many good ones in St. Louis, and that's what really inspired me to create this roundup because they're happening everywhere, especially now that spring is here and that summer is here. There's so many great park events, many of which are free. You can have a boot camp in the park. Like True Fusion puts on great fitness events that are absolutely free that are happening all over St. Louis. There's providers, so many local yoga studios and yoga providers. There's a company called Yoga Buzz here in St. Louis that puts on fitness events all over St. Louis. I just went to one in February that was like a Galentine's theme where they had a drag queen and a yoga class and mimosas. And I mean, that was super fun.
Oh, cute. Yeah.
And then there's also that are just really important. I went to a women's self-defense class that was put on by Gracie Barra that was fantastic. And you learn techniques on how to defend yourself in precarious situations. So there's kind of something for everybody.
Yeah.
And there are so many. So the website has been recently upgraded so that you're able to find the ones that are most interesting to you because not everybody's going to be into the same types of events. So now you can filter them by day. You can filter them by cost. You can filter them by type of fitness. So if you only want to do free yoga events, you can filter for that. If you only want to go, on a Sunday between that's something that's free or $10, like you can filter for that. So that's what's kind of cool and a new feature on the site.
Okay, so it's the first day of spring. We're thinking about sunshine. We're thinking about warmth. We're thinking about getting outside. What about events that would allow mom to get outdoors?
Yes. There are so many wonderful events that are coming, that are here for the spring and for the summer. So a couple of the ones that I am really excited about, there is a yoga teacher. Her name is Yogi Sculpt. She hosts classes on Thursday nights and Sundays in Lafayette Park. And some of them are sculpt based. Some of them allow you to see the sunset. There are a few other providers. One that's Diana Lucas. She does it down in Forest Park. With the farmers market returning at Tower Grove, Kim Wynn Yoga does outdoor yoga in conjunction with the Tower Grove Farmers Market.
Oh, I love that.
So there's lots and lots of yogas in the park. And then one of my personal favorite outdoor fitness activities that I can't wait to come back for this season is paddleboarding. They do like paddleboard yoga and paddleboard Pilates.
Oh my gosh.
It's out here in Chesterfield on the lake that's right behind like the district and the hub. I'm forgetting the name of that lake right now, but it's a small little lake out here in Chesterfield. And I mean, it's just so fun. I mean, you're getting on a stand-up paddleboard and then you're like doing yoga poses. And let me tell you, last year I did fall in and it was so worth it. So don't be afraid to do it. It's put on by a company called SUP. S-U-P.
S-U-P.
Yep, SUP paddleboard.
I am totally envisioning me with my not very strong core right now tumbling into the lake. I'm trying to do these like yoga and Pilates poses.
Oh my God. The board is wider than you think.
Okay.
So, you really have to lose your balance. But I did do it. And let me tell you, it was so refreshing. Especially, it was so refreshing on a hot summer day.
I love that. I love that. Okay, so you just helped us at St. Louis Mom put together our very first health and wellness guide.
Yes.
We partnered with Siteman Cancer Center on this particular guide. And it includes, some testimonials from our contributing writer team about where they like to work out and why. We also have a couple articles from you and another writer about what motivates you on your fitness journey. And then we also have a couple different categories. So we have healthy eats. We have local gyms and fitness centers. We had gyms with childcare, which is a big topic for our readership. And then also we have spots for pampering and relaxation, which was a really fun one to work on. So
what an awesome guide.
Which one did you work on?
Yeah, so I helped put together the guide to fitness centers and gyms in St. Louis.
Yeah.
And I loved working on it. There are just such an abundance of places in St. Louis that you can break a sweat and have a good workout in. So it was fun and interesting to curate that list so that it was really, great for moms. And it's organized by area of St. Louis. So whether you live in St. Charles or the Metro East, West County, Mid County, you can find a gym. We've rounded up, I want to say there's maybe 3, 4, 5 selections for each area of St. Louis.
Yeah.
And you've got everything in there from locally owned businesses to big box gyms to small Pilates studios. So there's a real nice blend and mix of places
Absolutely.
to help people find, some great places to work out in their area.
Yes, absolutely. It does feel curated. It didn't feel like, like a mass produced. I mean, it really felt like, this was really strategically and carefully thought through, which one we're going to include per region. So yeah. What about gyms with childcare? Any that you've had that you've really enjoyed that have been helpful?
Yeah. So there's a few options. I mean, I think Burn Boot Camp does such a great job of providing childcare that your kids actually want to go to, which I think is really wonderful. So that's one. I have a membership to Club Fitness.
Okay.
They have, over 19 locations here in St. Louis, and all of their locations have childcare included. But there are small and local studios that offer childcare. I just discovered Bloom Fitness Studio in Cottleville, Missouri.
Okay.
That has been a really fun discovery recently. They have really fun out-of-the-box fusion classes, including dance classes, which I love, and they have childcare.
Oh, fun.
R3 in St. Charles has childcare. So there's quite a few options. Don't let that be the reason that you don't get to the gym.
Yeah, but let's be real. I feel like that is it's something moms are constantly battling. It's like, I want to move, I want to take care of myself, but I'm caring for my kids too. So I love that some of these gyms offer,
so
that.
True.
Yeah. What about like a day that you can't get out of the house? Maybe you're home with a sick kid or there's a snowstorm.
Yes.
What do you do at home? Anything you do at home?
Yes. So a couple of things. So I recently started doing an at-home workout app that was built by Katie Ferguson, who's a fellow St. Louis mom. She created
Love Katie.
Build. It's basically an app-based strength workout. And I love it because, it's on demand and it provides structure for strength training. Because I'm somebody that doesn't really know, doesn't feel confident when I go to the gym and I'm just working out on my own, not in a fitness class, what exactly to do. And she lays it out so simply. Do this move, do it this many times and repeat it 3 or 4 times and do that, do a couple of these sets. So I've been doing that. And so I can do that now from home. I got a few heavier weights so that I can do that. Yeah. So one of the things that we did with all of these snow days is my kids are elementary school age now, right? So I've got 2 kindergartners and a 3rd grader. And so they go to PE every single day. And so I thought, all right, just because you're home, we're still going to have PE. And now you can boss me around. So we did PE at home. And I was shocked to see, number one, all the amazing things that they do in their PE classes every single day. Yeah. And, that they lasted 30 minutes of movement with me.
Wow.
So that was really cool.
That's pretty impressive. 30 minutes is a long time.
It is.
So I'm sure they had fun bossing you around.
They did. And if you have younger kids, I mean, I remember this from when my kids were younger. We would put on some YouTube videos. There's 5-minute workouts with Fred. And then there's another Cosmic Kids Yoga we really like. So that really helped and kept the younger kids, I think, engaged too.
I love that. Before we end, I got to talk to you because you just posted about a feature that you put on your website about gooey butter cake in St. Louis. So tell me about that. What was the journey you went on to write that?
So I love gooey butter cake. It's one of my favorites. And also, as a St. Louis native, I mean, I just have so much pride for it because it's such a unique thing here to St. Louis.
It is.
I don't quite understand how the other cities have not seen such value in gooey butter cake because it is fabulous.
Yeah, it is fabulous. Rich.
Yes. And lots of controversy here over whether is it a breakfast item or is it a dessert?
Yes.
Right? I mean, I think that's just an interesting thing in and of itself.
Yeah.
So I have been on a journey to kind of taste the best St. Louis gooey butter cakes. I've tasted way too many that I care to admit. But I believe I have found all of the best and rounded them all up on my website. So on my website, you can find a little bit of information about what gooey butter cake is, kind of some of the key components, how it was created, and then my favorite places in St. Louis to find it.
Yeah. The story is cool. Maybe share that briefly.
Yeah, absolutely. So the story kind of goes, again, St. Louis legend. It was actually created by accident. So in the 1930s, there was a German baker who was making coffee cake, and he accidentally inverted the amount of butter instead of, I believe it was sugar, or maybe it was flour. I'm forgetting exactly, but he basically added way too much butter to the recipe. And because back then it was so, people were coming out of the Depression and nothing was going to waste, he decided rather than pitching this weird cake that had just come out of the oven, he was going to try to sell it. And it became kind of this phenomenon and this hit. And, over the years, gooey butter cake has evolved. And now we often find cream cheese in our gooey butter cakes, which I love. So, yeah, that's how it all started.
I love that story. I love when something comes out of an accident. Okay, so if you had to crown the best gooey butter cake in St. Louis.
That's tough. But I will say, there's a few different styles, but I think I would give it to Companion Bakery, Companion Cafe.
Okay, Companion. I hope you're listening. That is an honor right there. What do you like about it?
So Companion actually has two different kinds of gooey butter cakes on their menu. There's their original gooey butter cake, which I don't think has cream cheese in it, actually. So if you're ever curious what that tastes like, it's hard to find one without cream cheese. But my favorite is their deep dish gooey butter cake. It's got this
dish.
Yeah. And it is huge. You can cut this thing up into like 5-6 pieces and it'll get around the table.
Yeah.
It's got this delicious, moist, yellow kind of cake bottom and then the gooey top with a huge layer of powdered sugar on top. It's phenomenal. You really can't miss it.
Okay. So this is like a group. This sounds like a dessert to me. A group shared dessert.
I think you can eat gooey butter cake any time of the day and it's all good. I grew up eating it as a breakfast item.
So did I. Yeah, me too. Okay, well, so our readers can connect with you on Instagram, Fitness Foodie STL. They can find some of your written work on stlouismom.com.
Yes.
And we will link your events calendar listing
please do.
as well in our show notes. So
fantastic. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, thanks for being on, Natalie. All right, St. Louis moms, we will catch you next time on Moms of the Lou. Thanks for listening to Moms of the Lou. We hope it encouraged you and put a pep in your step and helped you get to know our community a little bit better. Be sure to find us on Instagram, st.louis_mom. You can find us on Facebook, St. Louis Mom. You can find us on our website, www.stlouismom.com. In case nobody else tells you today, you're a great mom and you're doing a great job. Chat with you next time.